Paul, good morning and thank you very much for your time. I've seen some media reports saying that in that by-election yesterday, the ANC got a bloody nose, and Mr. Mabe, sitting here in the studio earlier, admitting that the party is worried about the outcome of this by-election involving 15 vacant seats in the Maluti Aputing municipality, which covers Kwakwa and Harrismith. This is very serious.
It is, Dan, but it's not without precedent. This is not the first municipality in the country or even in the Free State where the ANC has seen its problems, let's say, within the broader tripartite alliance play out in by-elections.
Now, this is coming as they are battling with a crisis in eThekwini, an important metro at the local government level, and we are 2 years away from the next local government elections. I mean, if I were the ANC, I'll really be thinking, how can I fix things? Because currently there's a crisis in eThekwini. You're losing a by-election 2 years away from the local government elections.
It's true, Dan, but I think there's one important point to make about this trend, and it's a continuation, like I said, in municipalities like Metsi Maholo, which also saw internal divisions play out in by-elections about 2 or 3 years ago, where a number of former ANC ward councillors registered under the SACP flag and then won seats, and one of the new ward councillors under the SACP subsequently became mayor. It's not that the ANC is facing a very serious threat from outside the alliance. It's not that as if the DA or the EFF or other smaller parties won seats yesterday, but it's the party's own former incumbent ward councillors who run as independents or under the SACP banner, or under, you'll remember previously, the United Front, which was the Vavi, Ivan Jim formation from Kusatu. So the ANC has got serious problems, but they're more about its internal struggles within the party itself and more broadly within the tripartite alliance.
Yeah, and these internal faction battles are playing themselves out in this way. You've made an interesting point there, because these are former ANC members, Paul, who are now independents, and looking at this particular Maluti Apufo municipality in the Free State, in that Kwakwa Harrismith area, the DA also campaigned heavily. I think Musi Maimane even went there to support them. But despite that heavy campaigning from the DA, they walked away from nothing to show for the by-elections yesterday. I did say earlier that apparently one seat went to the EFF, but checking the IEC's official website a short while ago, they're not confirming that. They're only listing as independents. Is this a trend we should expect to grow, that people, as they leave the ANC, go on their own or form some kind of new formations, and they're not even trusting opposition parties? Is a trend that we can see growing into 2021's local government elections, Paul?
It seems that way, Dan. You mentioned eThekwini, and at the same time that we had eThekwini a couple of weeks ago, there were similar ructions in Msunduzi, in Pietermaritzburg. And over there, the party had a similar problem, that there are factions within the alliance or within the ANC. So Msunduzi was another municipality where the ANC had 2/3 of the seats there, but factions within the party meant that the party itself couldn't run things even with a very solid majority, similar to Maluti Apofong. And that's a trend which we've seen pick up steam over the last few years. We've seen it years ago in Tlokwe, in Potchefstroom, before that municipality merged with Ventersdorp in 2016. We've seen it happen in municipalities in Limpopo. We said Msunduzi in KZN. So if anything, that's a very significant trend for the party.
Okay, very briefly, Paul, before I let you go, I mean, local government is where service delivery is supposed to be happening, and that's where people should feel the benefit of good governance. But currently, it doesn't look like it's happening in large parts of the country. For political parties leading towards 2021, surely if I was the ANC governing party, I'd try and put my house in order and focus on doing things that need to be done instead of politicking.
Well, yeah, we say that, and it's something that I think normal citizens like you and me and other people would hope for, that parties can put aside the internal divisions. But unfortunately, there's not strong evidence that that's happening. we had a talk within the broader society 2 or 3 weeks ago whether the resignation of eThekwini Mayor Zandile Gumede was a sign of a push towards better governance, but then we hear yesterday that Ms. Gumede has withdrawn her resignation. So it doesn't seem to me, Dan, that there's strong evidence of a cleanup underway. It's undeniable that the ANC is facing even bigger factionalism and fractious fighting within the alliance and within the party, but there doesn't seem to be a clear resolution in sight.
Thank you very much. Local government expert Paul Bekovitz giving us some of his insights following the by-elections in Free State yesterday.